Hi everybody, it's Stephanie Bisignano again. I just wanted to let you guys know that I am sick this week, so I'm having a little bit of issues with speaking, and if I speak too loudly, I lose my voice very easily. So you guys are just going to have to listen a little bit louder today, and I apologize for that. So I've decided to tell you about the experience I had with the week when I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It all started with me needing to come home from Monticello to Long Island. My best friend decided that since I was throwing up and extremely sick, that she was going to drive me. About 3/4 of the way through the trip, she decided that she was going to pull off and any random exit and take me to the nearest hospital. We ended up in Manhattan, where the streets and the bumps and everything just made it so much worse. So about 5 minutes into the trip, I told her to pull over and call an ambulance because I could not handle the roads and the traffic and the stopping and going any longer because it was just too jarring for me. She did not stop, and about 3 minutes later, we found St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital in Manhattan, where they then went on to admit me due to the fact that I was so severely dehydrated that I even had to be brought in a wheelchair, which was quite embarrassing when you are not used to that at all. I stayed there for approximately a week. They did various testing. They brought my sugar levels up so that I was able to walk on my own. I was no longer dehydrated, so they let me go home. I was home for about a week when they called me to let me know that they had the results for all of the tests. So I took a very interesting train ride with my grandmother into Manhattan from our house in Long Island. I was still very sick, so it wasn't the easiest train ride. There was every stop, everything just hurt. When we got into Manhattan, we had to walk a couple of blocks, which was also a lot for me due to the fact that I was in so much pain. When we did get there, though, they finally had a diagnosis for me, which ordinarily, being diagnosed with Crohn's disease would be a completely jarring situation where you might be scared and nervous, but for me, it was like a complete sigh of relief. I finally had a diagnosis after all of these years of being sick. I finally knew what was wrong with me. The doctor tried to explain to me that it really wasn't something to be happy about, that it was a debilitating disease, that there was no cure for, but all I could think is, I'm not crazy, I have something. They finally found it. I then went home with this huge sigh of relief and just this huge weight lifted off my shoulders. And when I got home, I told my grandfather, who then decided to Google everything, of course, and that caused a whole bunch of drama and him to become very stressed out. I ended up making a bunch of appointments with gastroenterologists, and they were able to give me medications that had worked for about a year, and then eventually, of course, it led to my surgery, which is why I am attending Sullivan, as I had previously told you guys. While it may seem that this should not have been such a happy event in my life, and looking back, it really is something that might be very dissatisfying to somebody. It was extremely satisfying to me to finally know that I was not crazy, that everything would have a solution, and that eventually I would be okay. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you guys appreciate everything that I've told you. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing your guys' stories.